Hi all, it's Picky again. I'm going to show you part 2 of how to make clear PS3 controller buttons. Okay, here's the finished product. Like I said previously, the same method can be used to make the directional pad. And here is the mold that we made in the previous one. This one's already got epoxy in it. I just needed to set it so I could show you at the end of the film. Okay, so first thing you need is a casting and embedding resin. Basically it's an epoxy resin and the hardener or catalyst as said here. Buy it from any hardware store. Bought this from Bunnings in Sydney. Okay, so you're first gonna want to open up the can. You don't really want to shake it too much, you don't want to get bubbles in it. Don't know why I don't. Once the can is open, you just want to get a measuring cup. This is one I've used before. It's got half filled with epoxy. For about the 4 buttons in the mold I showed you previously, you want to use about 15ml. Be careful, the stuff is thick and hard to get off stuff. As you can see, I just spilt it. Alright, so you want to use about, I think I used 15ml, and I put about 6 or 7 drops of hardener in it. Just for the directions on it, you'll be pretty safe with it. You don't want to put too much hardener in it because it'll become a bit fragile. If you do get anything, I found nail polish remover is good to get it off as well. So I'll clean up after the video. Alright, so what you're going to do, we're going to put the drops in. The reason why I'm wearing a glove is that liquid right there, the hardener, is corrosive. I burnt my hand on it previously. So about 6 or 7 drops in for about 15ml. And then you're going to want to slowly stir it with a clean implement. Try not to get bubbles in it, because the bubbles, if they get into the buttons, are a little bit tricky to get rid of. But you can just get them out with a toothpick. Just do a bit of stuffing around. It's always good to have some spare molds around too, so if you make too much, you're not really wasting it. So make sure you stir it each direction. Just be careful, like I said, stir slowly, try not to get any bubbles in it. Okay, so there's the epoxy. Now we'll grab the mold. Now you want to do is slowly pour it in. Slowly pouring it in helps also get rid of any bubbles. Make sure they're filled all the way up to the top. Overflow isn't a bad thing. That can be fixed up afterwards. So what I like to do now is to get into the fine little nubs on the side. Grab a little toothpick and just work it through. Make sure you get into every little bit, because if there's no epoxy, obviously there's going to be nothing there to hold it in place. Also, now would be a good time to get any bubbles out of air bubbles. The syringe here is going to be used for another mod, which I'll show you soon, with the epoxy. The syringe is also good to get into fine places. So say you're going to try and do a trigger or the analog stick, the syringe will be good for that mold. So as you can see here, I'm spreading it out, making it nice and even, and getting into the edges. Okay, all the excess epoxy can be trimmed over afterwards. Now you let that set, pretty much I let it set all day. You probably should let it set for at least 24 hours. like I said, follow directions. Here it is. As you can see, the epoxy has shrunk just a little bit, which is okay because the buttons aren't perfectly flat on the PlayStation, so it works out well. And you're just going to want to slowly peel back the silicone. I have to be a bit carefully because they're not fully set, they're a bit sticky. If you let it sit for about 24 hours, it should be dead hard. Okay, as you can see, I'm getting them off. There's the excess. At the moment, it just tears right off. If it can't come off, just use side cutters. Just trim it off. Also, wet and dry sandpaper. I found clear liquid nail polish, but make sure it's got a hardener. It's hard liquid nail polish, clear. Will also help get rid of any scratches or any bubbles. Okay, and there's the finished product. Perfectly molded buttons for the PlayStation. If they are too big, just use a drill and drill out a little bit out of each and keep testing them. And as you can see, the mod's perfectly normal, nothing wrong with it. So, happy molding. Remember to subscribe and I'll add some more videos soon.